Hello and welcome to the Ultimate Fighting Chat podcast. I'm Kungas. That's Yelland over there. We're going to be discussing UFC Fight Night, Covington versus Tyron Woodley, which happened on the 19th of September. It's live on BT Sport, so I heard. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm okay. You?
Yeah. Nice to hear your voice. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that thinks so.
Maybe. All right. Who's the first fight?
No. Oh, whoa. Don't you try and rush into it like that. I want to have a chat about this. So, commentators. And I'm going to mention them because it could be different ones. Could be new ones. Dominic Cruz, Paul Felder, and John Anik. And Megan O'Leary.
Yeah, I noticed her.
Now, one thing I'm going to say.
It's got to be the softest gig in the world, that, isn't it? I mean...
Oh, mate, I wonder how much she gets paid for that.
I'm curious as well. But look, I've seen that, you sent me that coffee chat show, and it looks like they got a nice house. But I'm assuming that's more down to Benavidez.
Nasty? What, because he's a man? Because he's a man?
Not just because I can't imagine that she's made that much dollar out standing on the side of a cage going, he's won 3 in his last 4, but he says he's more determined than ever to. I can't imagine that you make a lot of money from doing that.
Maybe she does other stuff.
Yeah, that's it. She might do other stuff behind the scene and all that. But yeah, I can't imagine her putting up the cage though. You know what I mean? And I don't know, helping out with the lighting.
Oh,
so
no chance.
I don't know what she does. But
of what you've seen though, so you do know of the things you have seen her do. What do you think?
Yeah. What do I think?
Yeah. How do you rate her performance?
It's all right. I mean, she doesn't stumble over her words. She's seems to be able to. If it's reading off a teleprompter, she does it efficiently enough, and if it's from memory, she recites it. Well enough. So great. But I couldn't give a monkeys. And I hate the fact that it's always, they've obviously always spend time on, where are we going to put her? Are we going to put, or who's Sanchez? Are we going to put her on the side of the cage this time? Or just on, on the angle.
Noticed, yeah.
Comes out the back. It's just like, it's just, I don't know. Like I say, look, Cruz and all that need a break maybe. And that's maybe what they're there for.
Anik don't need a break though. All he does is read out ads and ask questions and stuff. He don't need a break. Oh, everyone needs to go to the toilet though, don't they? We've agreed it. They're all sitting there with skids, so everyone needs to go and sort the skids out.
I remembered one thing. Remember we said Anik? We hated that he can't just say anything normally. He's always got to have his own.
I haven't made any notes. Yeah.
I remembered one.
Oh, go on.
So I think they're going into the last round on one of the fights, right? And rather than saying 5 minutes, 5 minutes left in this one.
Something and change, wasn't
it? He said 300 seconds left to go. I was just like, this is so stupid. It's so crap. He can't just speak like there's no way that, I don't know, if he's meeting up with his mates down, I don't know, the bar or something in 5 minutes, there's no way he rings them up and goes, I'll see you guys in 300 seconds.
Might do. No, he might have military friends.
What's that?
You might have military friends.
Yeah, but military guys don't say 300 seconds.
Don't they? Oh. I thought they did. I thought they did speak a bit different with numbers and time, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'll have to watch Rambo again.
Yeah, you'll have to watch Rambo or Predator and find out. But, yeah, but no, it was that one, and then he said another one. I can't remember what the other one, but when he said that 300 seconds,
but he remembered him.
Such a typical Anik. He can't just say,
that's not natural.
5 minutes left of this fight. He has to think of his own little Anik way of saying it, and it's not cool. It's not funny. It's just crap. And I'm sorry, but I reckon once the people get through the email saying you're going to be working the desk with, and then I reckon there's 2 words that makes everybody's arse drop and everybody go, oh, for God's sake, it's going to be well boring. Those 2 words are Dominic Cruz.
Well, that's funny you should say that, right? Because this time I thought he was all right. So I think he's been listening to the show because we've mentioned him before and discussed him. And I think he was quite good. I thought he was a lot better. Now, you see, but I understand what you've said there about boring. And I think that it's got something to do with me thinking he was better because he was less in your face. He was less, he's not, when I say in your face, we know he's not in your face with his enthusiasm. I just mean like he's always chatting crap, innit? You know, all the things I said he says before when he's talking about in the fight, saying he's lots of different looks and all the crap things he says. There was less of that. I thought he was a bit more laid back and natural. I honestly thought he was different this time. Saying he's amazing. I thought he was a bit better.
Right. It's got something to do with the fact that it was split 3 ways. You had Anik, Felder, and Cruz.
True.
So he's sliced down by a third or whatever.
That's a good point. I thought it's because he'd been listening to the show and taking the feedback from us.
Oh, yeah, that's possible as well. I mean, I don't hate Cruz. I actually quite like him. I'm just saying.
No, it showed the clips in between of him, that new show, breaking stuff down. That was crap.
That's right, yeah. I actually thought that looked quite interesting. But anyway, that's that. So, yeah.
All right, okay. Well, okay, we'll start with the prelims then.
All right.
As a matter of fact, we'll probably, depending on how long we go, we'll probably just do the prelims and then do a main card one like we did before. That seemed to go down well. You know, it's very popular.
Yeah, about 7 views, isn't it? Right.
Well, you obviously ain't looked for a while, have you? And it takes a while for those views to update.
7 views. One of them was you. One of them was me.
No, I don't do that. I don't want to listen to myself. I would never do such a thing. So the first fight on the card was Tyson Nam versus Jerome Rivera. And just so you know, I'm presuming this is the same for you. I never saw it. Weren't on telly.
No, I didn't see it. Didn't have access to Fight Pass to watch it. So those first 3 fights, just read out the results, and we can just have to, you know, maybe catch up with them later on something like Fight Pass or what have you. But we can't really discuss them now in any.
Okay, but you might have wanted to go, I love Tyson Nam. Shame I didn't see it. I've got nothing to say about it. I will say, for people listening that are interested, that Tyson Nam won in round 2 by a TKO. I don't really know how or anything. I just said TKO, but what I'm saying is I didn't see it, so I can't comment on it. And that's a shame for everyone, right? We can't give our take on the fight.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, tuning in. So, yeah, like I say, let's get through those 3.
All right. The next one was Journey Newson versus Randy Costa. And again, obviously never saw it. Winner was Costa, round 1. TKO in round 1. Again, nothing to say. So we'll move straight on to the next one. Agreed?
Yep.
Andre Ewell versus Irwin Rivera. And that was a win. That winner was Ewell by unanimous decision. I don't actually know either of these. As a matter of fact, apart from Tyson Nam, I don't really remember any of those fighters. It's a shame I never got to see those fights.
I do remember Andre Ewell.
His name rings a bell, but I haven't got a shot of him. I can't think of any of the fights he's had or anything. I know it's crap knowledge, but the truth is that's why it would have been good to see him, because it might have refreshed my memory on stuff and might remember them. And if I don't know them, at least now I would know them. So I will try and catch those fights.
You will have seen Ewell, because he's had quite a lot of fights in the UFC. He's fought, Britain's own Nathaniel Wood.
Oh yeah, is that Piquet's mate?
That's right, yeah. And the GOAT, Henan Barrow. He has had some.
Did he do Barrow? Was it that stage? Yeah.
Yeah, it was that stage, yeah.
Okay, so the first fight that we both saw was TJ Laramie versus Darrick Minner. First thing I'm going to say is no such name as Darrick.
Yeah, to me, that's somebody at I don't know, in America, how you guys register your names. But in this country, I think, you get your name put in your birth certificate and somebody put an A instead of an E. That's
and 2 R's. And 2 R's.
Yeah, but isn't
it's possible Lewis, that one, but it's still, that's what I'm saying, there's no such name.
I think Derek Lewis is spelled like that as well. So maybe that's an American version of Derek. In the UK, it's D-E-R-E.
Darrick.
Yeah, Darrick. No one's ever heard of that. No one's ever used that name before. I'd like to get some sort of statistical breakdown of what percentage of the population are called Darrick, and it might just be literally him.
Yeah. Well, I agree. You know, Darrick Minner, no such name, so that's banned. This was a featherweight fight. The favourite was Laramie, and the winner was Darrick in round 1 by a guillotine
I
choke.
think you've just stumbled upon something there.
Oh, have I?
Shouldn't Darrick be called Darrick the Winner Minner?
Well, he didn't have nicknames, so you're right. We could. I mean, he's listening, so maybe he'll take our advice.
I'll tell you what, the other bloke, he should be called Smoking. Because isn't in The Simpsons, I think it is, or either in real life, I don't know, because I don't smoke, but there's actually a brand of cigarettes called Laramie.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, so he should be called Smoking, TJ Laramie, or TJ Smoking.
Yeah, but he, as an athlete, you probably don't want to promote that stuff. He's probably thought about it.
No, I mean smoking as in, the cool term.
Yeah,
like,
I know you do, but
hot or whatever, that version.
You brought up fags, though. Well, hot, did you say?
Yeah, like if you see a girl...
Did you, Laramie?
No, but if you saw a girl and you go smoking, then, it means that,
You do that? I've never heard you say that.
Well, I don't use words like smoking
right.
or fit.
Okay, but you want him to call himself Smoking. Right. But you don't even use words like that. And you don't smoke fags, and you don't call girls smoking. So, crap one by you, that.
No, actually, I have said girls have looked smoky before.
Smoky, you have, yeah.
There have been the odd girls who have gone, well, she's quite smoky. So, yeah.
Do you want to say which one was smoky? You can say it now. I'm sure she's listening.
Nah, it's all right.
Nah, best not.
Yeah, keep them guessing, innit?
That's right, yeah. Now, I've got something to say about Laramie. He's another Cody Stamen and Drew Dober bloke. He looked exactly the same. So they're getting a bit copy-paste, that style of bloke now.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So, like, short, squat, muscle business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That other selection that were getting sames. I can't remember them all, but there's a Drakkar Close. What were the other ones? There was some...
yeah. Oh, don't tell me that.
I can't remember them. There's a few copy-pastes, weren't there?
Yeah, they even thought the same. Oh, blimey, what are their names? They'll come back.
We'll have to come back to him because I don't remember. He's the only one I can remember.
The obvious ones, Kevin Lee.
Yeah, he
looks like Drakkar Close and fights.
He is, but there's a number of them, isn't there?
Yeah, there was a middleweight fella. He was actually all right.
They're exactly the same. Oh no, I liked him.
Oh, hang on, who was the light heavyweight bloke? Oh, why can't I remember?
I can't remember him.
I wish you'd have told me this before because I
know, but it's because they're so same. But that's why we can't remember them. But, we only need to remember one name. They all look exactly the same. And that's the same for this one. Laramie, I saw him. TJ Laramie, I saw him and went, Cody Stamen, Drew Dober, no difference. So that was quite a good fight, that. Enjoyed it. Remember it? Minner, he knew he had that choke before he even went down. You remember he grabbed him in a front choke and he sort of stuck his tongue out as if to say, looking over his coaches as if to say, I've got this, I know this is in. And he's right. He obviously does it all the time in training and he's good at them because it didn't look like it was going to work. To me, it just didn't look like the sort of thing a bloke would get out of, but he knew it, stuck his tongue out, done it. And he was a bit like Dragon Lee in this fight. I don't think he got hit at all. And the reason I say Dragon Lee is because in the Kungas, Dragon Lee basically don't get hit in any of the fights. So he done a Dragon Lee, never got hit, got a choke. And he reminded me of, what's that other fella's name? Gillespie.
Yeah, Gregor Gillespie. Yeah.
Gregor, that's right. Yeah, he reminded me of him. So everyone looks like everyone. Everyone's the same now. But
I've found out another one of the Drakkar Close, Kevin Lee.
Yeah.
Eric Anders.
Oh my God, that's the one. Yeah. Same.
There's still one more.
There is
basically, like you say, you see any of them, you could just go Eric Anders, and it's like, no, I'm not Eric Anders. I'm Kevin. It's like, there's another one. I'm going to find out his name. But that Minner, I just called him Derek Minner because Darrick, like you say, it's not a real name.
There's no such name. Yeah, might as well just not call him Darrick. I can't even say it.
I think it's true. I can't say it either. I think he fought on short notice previously before against that Grant Dawson fella, and he lost. But it was one of those fights.
Grant Dawson?
Yeah, from Dawson's
Creek. Sounds like your uncle or something.
Yeah, I know. He's definitely not a real fighter. But he was one of those ones where he came out like a bat out of hell, pretty much like he did in this fight. And he came close a couple of times with some chokes, almost got the submission or whatever, but he didn't, and he kind of gassed out. And I think that's his fighting style. If you look at his record, he's got 25 wins and 22 of them are by submission. and one of them by KO. And that's why they were saying on the broadcast, wasn't it, that, you know, that Laramie's really kind of made a big mistake. So the last place you want to be is
under his pit.
Sort of a grappling exchange with that fella. And I'll just quickly read you his record, okay?
All right.
I won't read you the results. These are all his wins, but just the method of. Right, rear naked choke, guillotine choke, guillotine choke, guillotine choke, TKO punches, decision. So they went a bit off the ball there. But then armbar, guillotine choke, knee bar, guillotine choke, decision. Rear naked choke, guillotine choke, armbar, triangle choke, guillotine choke, guillotine choke, guillotine choke, guillotine choke, rear naked choke, triangle choke, shoulder choke.
Unbelievable.
So you thought going into it that TJ Laramie might be like, I think I want to keep my neck as far away from this guy as possible.
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Hey, you know what? Lesson for the coaches. I mean, we shouldn't have to be telling these coaches what to look out for, because I didn't read his record, but I'm not fighting him. You've now read how he wins. Had we been fighting him, I would have read that.
Oh, of course, yeah.
100%. So, you know.
Well, I think, and they did touch on it on the broadcast. The thing is, I do think that Darrick done a good job, as in he came out all guns blazing, and I think it made that guy, if you like, a little desperate to clinch and to grapple, because he wasn't enjoying what was happening on the feet too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's maybe why he should have kept it on the feet and kept away from him a bit, kept his distance a bit.
Well, that's what he should have done, but he didn't, and he lost, and he's another one of those that when he lost, you could see he done a little bit like of a mouthed an effort.
Yeah.
He knows that weren't a good start to his UFC career, but hey, who knows? He might be brilliant, right? We didn't really get to see much of him, but I like that Darrick Minner. He's entertaining, isn't he?
Definitely, yeah. Just needs to sort his name out.
That's right.
I'm just gonna have to call him Minner. I can't be. It's too hard. It don't come out, Darrick. Oh, see,
it don't work either.
No, it don't. But
that's not very good either.
Well, we'll have to give him a nickname, Manic.
I did the winner.
No, because he might not win all the time. Manic's better.
Manic Minner. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Manic Miner, isn't it? I mean, it's not. Yeah, but it's not Manic Miner, is it? True, it's not.
What does Manic Miner mean?
It's a Commodore 64 game, isn't it? Don't you say that to Beeps, he'll have you for that. What? Right. You don't know what Manic Miner is? The music on it, man. Yeah, trust me. He will really be annoyed with you for that. Loves it, he does. No, I think he might be. Specky's the best version, though. Anyway, next fight? Because that was good, I enjoyed that fight. I know it weren't much to see, but it was good, wasn't it?
Now, that guy, that Minner, he's all that. That's what he was like in his first fight as well. I think he's a good guy to have on your books, let's say.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to see.
Apart from the fact that he's got a crap name.
Well, yeah, okay, that can be fixed. And I'm also happy to see TJ Laramie again if they give him another chance, because you know he seemed like he was going to be good, because he's a Stamen Dober, so we'll have him and all.
Yeah, we'll give him another chance.
Yeah, sure. Next fight, Jessica Rose Clark. 9-6 versus Sarah Too Sweet Alpar. It was Sarah Too Sweet Alpar's UFC debut. And Rose Clark won this TKO round 3.
I've just remembered the other person in the Eric Anders gang.
Right, let's go.
I don't think you're going to remember him. He's had a lot of UFC fights. But
I will, because he looks the same.
Max Griffin.
Yeah, of course I know him. He's right away. I know exactly what he looks like. I'll have to remember one of them.
He's actually
yeah, he's good. Yeah, that's the one. So this fight,
he's got a good nickname, you know.
Who?
Max Griffin.
Go on. What is it?
Max Payne Griffin.
It don't really go, does it?
Yeah, it does, because you remember the video game Max Payne.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, of course. I've been done by video games. Beeps would do me for that.
Yeah,
you're right. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on the video game thing. Oh, mate. I'm not as geeky as I thought, and I'm certainly not as geeky and dweeby as you. There's the proof of it. What are you talking about? I didn't know how many man it was. Look, I've got a better nickname for Too Sweet, Sarah Too Sweet Alpar. I created one on the spot. Much better. I hope she's listening. I know she's listening. So let's just hope she takes it on. Mine is Sarah Lardlegs Alpar.
Right now, that's really crap because last week you had a go at me for calling Roque Martinez the jelly, and now
bad one that.
Yeah, but now you're going to say that. That's
no, it's because they're white. It's just because they're white. And Lard's white. That's all. Nothing wrong with white.
Well, this fight is.
I liked it.
Little interest. Okay, a couple of things I did want to ask you about this fight. What do you think about having a smash up 3 weeks before your wedding?
Okay. In an ideal world, it's a terrible idea, but I think for a fights person, it can be a good story for the day. Why have you got black eyes? Because I had a smash. I'm a UFC fighter. I mean, everyone's going to know they're a fighter anyway. And not only that, who's the one? Was it Rose Clark having the wedding?
No, Alpar, wasn't it?
Okay, so Lard was having Alpar was having the wedding, right? The thing is, think about it. If you're Cerrone, what's his name? The breakdancing bloke. Can't believe I can't even remember his name. Who?
Johnny Walker. He does dances, right?
Tony Ferguson, right? If you're someone like that, you're going to get smashed up. Women's fight, take the risk, wouldn't you? You'd probably say in your head, it's all right for me having this 3 weeks before my wedding because it's against Jessica Rose Clark and it's probably going to be a decision. So she probably would have analysed the fight herself before it even happened. True? Well, decision or armbar, right?
Well, yeah, but how wrong would she have been? Because she got a nose plastered across her face. And
mashed up,
was it Tognoni again?
It was Tognoni, yeah.
Having a bit of a rough time of it, isn't he, Tognoni?
Okay, so let me think.
He can't do right for doing wrong at the moment, that bloke.
It does seem that way, but... Right, okay. Honestly, I liked this fight. First off, with Rose Clark, she didn't have a nickname, so I've got a nickname for her as well. Just Jessica Crap Tats Rose Clark. That'll do for that one.
Yeah. I was going to call her the Human Sketchbook.
That's definitely better. That's more creative than mine. Mine was just too raw. Yours is definitely better. Okay, the Human Sketchbook. Yeah, we'll have that one. And I'm sure she'll take that one on board, right? But if you remember at the beginning of it, Anik said they both had some talented tattoo artists.
That's right.
I just saw a plethora of scat splattered everywhere. I mean, bad. Really.
Well, when Anik said that, I genuinely done a little bit of a mouth drop. Like I said, like,
when you're bringing that up,
like James surprised. I was like, "What? Are you looking at the same people I'm seeing on the screen?" Because it looks like like when you get hurt as a kid, like you break your arm or something, you get your arm put in a plaster cast, and all your mates come around and like sign it and draw, I don't know, pictures of willies on it or whatever.
Yeah,
that's basically what it basically looked like. Her whole body was a human plaster cast. That all her mates had just come around with some felt tip pens,
just done stuff. Yeah.
Just gone, I want to draw a cat, and another one went, well, I want to draw, I don't know, whatever, a tree, and that's what it looked like to me. Just a group of just some drawings put on a body. It looked like no one's gone, no, you should have this one here because it flows nicely into this one.
Yeah, symmetrical.
I'm not much into tattoos, but you do get some fighters where you look at them and you go, I can see what they've tried to achieve here, or it's flowed over the shoulder and it flows nicely into the pectoral or whatever, or blah blah blah. Whereas hers just literally, someone went
anything, anywhere.
She went in there and went, I want a cat, and somebody went, where? And she went, I don't know, you choose.
Yeah. I mean, wherever there's a space, bit of space.
Exactly, wherever it will fit.
Find a bit of skin. I'm wearing shorts today, so you've got anything from here downwards, yeah.
Like I've got a mate who's covered in tattoos, isn't he? Like literally from head to toe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he looks wicked. Like, he looks cool in T-shirts. He looks wicked. He's got, all up his neck and everything.
But why don't you be more than his mate then, if he looks that good?
I fancy him, does it?
Yeah, you're always going on about him. I'm going to tell him. I mean, if I see that bloke, I'm going to tell him.
Anyway, he looks cool, right? because he's tattoos, because he's spent a real long time of this one's going to go here, it'll flow nicely into that one.
He's real at art, though, isn't he? So he's a bit of an artist.
He's into
so it
art.
might help that he's got. Well, you don't have to be real at art to look at a good picture and go, "I want it on my board," do you? Really? But no, I don't know.
No, but it's like he's got stuff like. So he's got like a Mexican wrestler on his neck, with the mask on, and like kind of Rey Mysterio thing.
Mm.
And I know 100%. If I got that same picture done by the same bloke on my neck, it would look absolutely awful. Why does it look good on him?
Well, don't they do things first, like sort of transfer it on to see if it's good before they actually do it? So you would have done it and then gone, "No, I ain't doing it."
Well,
I'm guessing.
They do that. They put it on and then you kind of go, yeah, it's in the right place. Or,
No, yeah, it makes sense, right?
Or in Jessica Rose Clark's, position, she'll just go, yeah, whatever, and it's.
The thing is, right? Look, don't want to be nasty. Maybe we are being nasty. You can do whatever you want. It's your board and everything. But the truth is, regardless, it wouldn't matter what her face looks like. It can't look good anymore because you've put tattoos on it. And what are they? It's just a couple of bits on her face.
Yeah, and she got like a little tear or an anchor.
I don't know. I ain't into it.
No, it's not my thing. But she's not a bad looking fighter, is she?
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. And ruin your face with tattoos, isn't it?
In
my opinion, do you ruin it?
Now, just moving on from a physical appearance and tattoos and stuff, and Alpar's legs. I actually think Rose Clark was all right, which was decent enough. I mean, she should have got that fight. The only thing that would worry me is like, for the last sort of 7 minutes, you had a human punching bag, and it took you 7 minutes to deal with it. For me, I'd have been like, you really should have had that lady out there way before. And if we're going to discuss the fight properly, what was it that happened? Again, wasn't it a legal knee? It was a legal knee, wasn't it? It was her bum.
To me, it was a boring fight. I wasn't enjoying the fight. It turns out a good fight. I actually did like the fight, but it was really boring. It was a terrible, boring fight. Took place up against the fence the whole way. But luckily, in round three, there was a bit of an exciting moment. There was some confusion over a questionable knee strike. It was legal, the knee strike. She was sort of sitting down or getting up or whatever, and the knee hit her in the face while she was in a legal position. But Tyone, the best, stopped it. Real time, what did you think?
Real time, it looked illegal to me, if I'm being honest.
Sorry, real time, it looked...
It's easy to sit here and...
It looked illegal, did you say? Sorry?
Yeah, it looked illegal to me.
Yeah, me too.
And even when you watch the replays, right, her bum is literally maybe a centimetre and a half off the floor. I mean, if she was packing more junk in her trunk, maybe it would have been skimming the floor, right? And you wouldn't even say, well, it was bad positioning by Tyone. You should have been able to see. There's no way, her feet and her legs were in the way of being able to see whether her bum was on the floor.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult.
I don't portion any blame to him. But again, they were saying afterwards, right, that he stopped it, looked at the replay, and then restarted the fight, which apparently isn't allowed.
That's right. That's what they said. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't know. It's another strange one for him, wasn't it? But I mean, he's making fights way more interesting. He's my favourite ref now. That's it. I don't think any of these are crap. These decisions. I really like him a lot.
He's overtaken Mazzagatti, has he?
No, I like the other one, McDonald, in it, the jumping bloke who's. Yeah, he's good, but I think Tony's my favourite now. So please carry on doing this stuff. Makes it really good. And he did just start it. And I think the lady called out for, can we going back to the same position? He was like, no, just stand back up and fight. I never called it. He didn't call it, right? But they said, I think one of the questions about it was, you've called a timeout for it, but it's not illegal. Then it should be stopped or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because you find out it's not illegal and then you just start the fight again. Look, it was weird for him, but it was made the fight brilliant. Sorry, but without that, it would have been boring. It was up against the cage.
It was an understandable error. Like, I don't think that he dropped the ball by not seeing that was legal. I mean, if, say, for example, he noticed that it was legal, then, yeah, of course, I'd be like, wow, that's an amazing referee. And, his positioning. How did he, see that bum weren't on the floor? But it's totally understandable that he made that error. I'm not sure about, checking the replays, restarting it if you're not allowed to do
Well,
that.
this is the thing, isn't it? Yeah.
But outside of that, I thought he let it go on too long as well. Sometimes, sometimes you've got to look at, even though those punches weren't devastating punches.
Right, that's what I was going to say. Nothing was happening.
Yeah, but sometimes you've got to look at the body language of the person who's receiving the punches. And she was looking like someone who was saying, I've got a wedding in 3 weeks. Can you please make sure I've got a nose in some of the photos? That's what she looked like to me. She didn't look like, we said the other week when, what was that fella who looked like when he got told he had to carry on fighting against Jalen Turner? It looked like he was about to start crying. When he got told
it was the Brock Weaver.
Brock Weaver, that's it. This was a similar thing. She looked a little bit like sort of, she was going to cry when she had to carry on fighting. So it was just like, listen, I would like to have, not have to dress like the Elephant Man for my wedding. You know what I mean? So I think
she agreed it.
It was stopped too late. And that's why I asked you, should you be taking a fight 3 weeks after your wedding? Like you say, maybe she'll go, no, I like it because that's my job. And we'll look back on those photos with fond memories of,
I think so.
I got married with a smashed in nose.
And it might not happen. Yeah. And he might come out unscathed and it might have been a round one armbar.
And she might have won 50 G's performance bonus and go on a nice honeymoon or whatever. All these things.
Yeah. But worth the risk, as they say.
Yeah. She took a risk and it didn't pay off. We can safely say that.
It didn't.
I thought Rose Clark looked all right, actually.
It was not bad. Not bad at all, right? But fair play to Cruz, because he said that, there was a little bit of chat over debating over the stoppage and whether the fight should have been stopped or been allowed to continue. And Cruz, and based on how he was before, he said that he would have wanted the opportunity to continue. I liked that from him.
Yeah, I'm surprised you picked up on that, because I agree.
What was the fight where he thought he was stopped early? Who was he fighting again? It was a title fight, comeback version. I really can't remember who it was, and he was annoyed about it when he said that the ref had done beers and fags beforehand and stuff like that.
He said that about Keith Peterson for his refereeing fight.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
who was he fighting in that fight? The one where he thought he got stopped early? Cruz. What was that? It was for a title fight. I think that's why he had the ump. Was Cejudo, was it?
It was for a title fight, yeah.
Is it Cejudo, was it then?
I think it was Cejudo, yeah.
Well, he kicked up quite a stink after that, right? Let me continue and this, that, and the other, go out on my shield and all that stuff. And like I said, when people were saying, that's crap, really, that should be a TKO for Rose Clark and all that. And I liked it that Cruz went, well, I would have wanted the opportunity to continue. So you can look at it both ways.
Yeah.
And I liked it.
It was Cejudo. And I liked it as well because where I've heard him make a couple of sort of, if you like, bitchy comments in other fights about, it's, should be given it's nice when someone's given a chance to carry on and stuff like that. This was a bit more reasoned and level-headed the way he put the point across and just said, I would like to have carried on. But I also understand why some people might go, it went on too long. Went on too long for my liking. But I appreciate what you said as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Now, the next fight. We're done with that one?
Yep.
Right? The next fight. See what I mean, though? I probably would have just shifted on with that fight, but Tyone made that fight. He ain't even fighting, and he made that fight good. So he's my favourite ref. The next fight, you told me to just say things as I see it, but I'm going to say what Anik said. He said, Mayra Bueno Silva, right? That ain't her name. Her name is Mayra. Her name is Mayra Bueno Silva. So don't worry about what Anik said. With a nickname Mayra. Versus Mara Romero Borella. Brilliant name, that is. Not even a nickname. That's just her name. And, this is a good one. Because we've agreed it, right? It's either a unanimous decision, which is why the Rose Clark one is an interesting fight, because it wasn't a unanimous decision, was it? It was a stoppage, but not a real one, because Tyone, if you like, made it interesting. But this one, Bueno Silva won by an armbar in round one. What have you said about women's fighting? Armbars. And there's another one.
If there was a fight which showcased how shallow the talent level is in women's MMA, it's this fight.
I know why you're saying it. That
Both
Borella just sat there and let that happen.
she tapped to
Yeah,
nothing.
but she sat in the position for ages. She didn't even try and wriggle out of it. She just sat
That's
there
right. Yeah.
and waited until, that's hurting enough.
But then she tapped before the arm was even close to being extended.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, that girl has probably been training MMA for. I wouldn't like to say, right. I don't know anything about her, but to me, she's been training it for less than a couple of years. If she's tapping to that,
well,
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought maybe she must have had an injury from something else, or what have you. Terrible.
Well, look,
terrible.
I agree with you. The problem I've got here is I'm definitely not real at jits at all. But even I would have known that I was in danger in that position, right? And at the point where I knew, that's, dangerous or whatever, that's an armbar coming up. If you don't move, she still didn't move. So my question is, don't she listen to this podcast? Because if she did, she'd learn a thing or two.
Yeah, she wouldn't have got armbarred if she did.
Right.
Both of them were, both of them didn't look much cop, and to get submitted without actually having a submission locked in, not good. Not good.
More proof that the women's game is still in the dark ages.
Yeah, as much as there are definitely good female fighters. That's without a shadow of a doubt. But
Waiting for a list, then nothing happened.
I can go through a list of.
No, I don't want a list of them, thanks.
I was
just saying that normally
fighters that I really think are good. Or
go on then.
Really
yeah, all right.
All right, Rose Namajunas.
Yeah, I do think she's good.
Yeah, I think she's really good. Weili Zhang.
Yeah, I think she's good as well. Flip's sake, right?
Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah, she's good as well. Yeah, all right. Okay, that'll do.
Yeah, so
I knew there'd be no more. I knew it.
There is more.
Is there?
Yeah, we both like Waterson, don't we?
Yeah, she's all right. Yeah, definitely talented for sure.
Yeah, and there's other girls that are decent.
No, there is another one that I like.
I think
there's a couple that Amanda Hebas I thought was quite good.
You like Tatiana Suarez?
Yeah, she's good as well. I did like the Venezuela Vixen.
Oh, that's right.
She had a kid and all that. What's her name? Juliana
Pena.
Yeah, she was quite good, really aggressive.
Yeah,
so she weren't bad. Yeah, so there is.
Jacek.
There's another Brazilian lady that I think is quite good as well. Name escapes me for now, but
not Cordelia.
No, I don't think she's very good. It's actually getting worse.
I definitely know you're not a big fan of Andrade, but obviously she's
one of the worst fighters in it.
And, yeah, but she's obviously rough and tough. And
did you know
that one we liked the other week, that Araujo, she was good.
Yeah, there's another one that I really like, and I can't remember. But I tell you who is bringing. Speaking of women fighters,
really like Tisha Torres.
Yeah, she's like Waterson for me. Really, talented, good martial artist, but don't win out. We forgot to discuss this. Probably deserves its own show, and if you agree with that, we won't discuss it. But there was a woman retired the other day. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe that it's such groundbreaking news, and you're giving me a confused face. If this was video, people would be going, "What's wrong with this guy?" I mean, how many women have retired recently, and this was big news, and you're sitting there confused. Becce.
Oh no. Becce, yeah.
Retired.
That's a shame.
Mate.
Why?
Wow. I don't know. I didn't read it.
I didn't want to fight in ages. I mean, that usually.
Well, yeah. It's a shame. It's a shame. But there you go. So Becce's banned it. It's over. So yeah, there you go. Next fight.
Yep.
Mirsad Bektic, 13-3 versus Damon, the Leech Jackson, 17-3. This fight won performance of the night. It seems to me that a leech has been at his barnet as he's away to hell, that Jackson fella.
Yeah, he needs to run a next time he's shaving his face, just run that blade north an extra few inches, and
I think he did. Already done that.
Yeah, it's the thing. It actually look right. You know, he's got a decent face and all that.
He did look all right, even with the away barnet. He even looked all right with the away barnet.
He does look all right with that, but it makes him look a bit more like an accountant or something like that. Whereas if he shaved it off, it'd look a bit more like a, I don't know, what is it, like a Josh Emmett or one of those kind of characters.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he should definitely whip it off. But outside of that, I have to say, okay, two things about this.
Yeah,
see what you think.
Go for it.
I didn't like the way he shouted in the guy's face at the end.
Yep, hated it. I've got that down as well because that was bad news. That.
Yeah, I didn't like it. As far as I'm aware, there wasn't any sort of bad blood or what have you. And I appreciate that he's he came in on short notice and he's really relieved and all that. But I'll tell you what.
He was still down. He was on the floor, and then you're shouting in his face.
Oh yeah,
after he's been submitted. What I mean. It's bad qual that.
I agree, and if it's a release of, if you like, pent up energy or whatever, just
go
and jump on the cage like everyone else does, or stand up and walk over to Dana and go, "Give me 50 G's, you big bald
guillotine a bloke." A guy taps to you, right, which means they've submitted. They've actually told you, "I've had enough." Right, get off, and then you shout in their face. Yeah. If there's a reason, look, the truth is there might be a reason, right? We liked it when TJ smashed out Garbrandt and he did the power with shouts because there was a lot of history there and I understood it. But this one, it looked wrong to me. It didn't look good. It was real bad. That looked disrespectful. Didn't enjoy that.
Yeah, I agree. And I'll tell you what, it soured it a little bit for me because up until that point, to me, that was a little bit of a, do you remember we discussed we really liked Kevin Kroon when he won the other week and the real reaction?
Yeah, real reaction, yeah.
To me, this was the same in this fight because this guy came in on short notice. I like the fact, because I remember him from his previous stint in the UFC, and he's obviously gone away, won a few fights in other organisations, taken that last minute opportunity. So if you like, it's a Cinderella story again.
We like that.
Yeah, and I really liked it. I liked the fact that he had a torrid first round. He had a struggle in the second round, which he definitely lost it. But I really liked that in the corner between the rounds, his head didn't drop. He seemed that he was still like, I'm going to win this fight, though. And he went out there and he sorted it. And I was really, really liked all that. I was impressed by it. I thought he was brilliant. I liked everything, even after the fight. I liked everything. I liked his chats after. The only thing...
his barnet, everything.
I liked his hair, everything. The only thing I didn't like was the shout. Now, what I'm wanted to touch on, though, the other point, other than the shout, and it's a shame I didn't have a webcam on, because after about the first...
it's a shame for everybody, believe me.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
After about the first 3 minutes of the first round, I said to myself, Bektic's going to lose this. He's going to fade out. It's going to be another Darren Elkins, because you cannot fight at the intensity and the pace that he does in that first round for 15 minutes.
Unless he finishes it, right?
Yeah. And it comes a little bit to, do you remember Agapov, that woman who fights like a bat out of hell? And then...
Agapova.
Yeah. And to
me... Maria Agapova, yeah.
It reminded me of that. And I just thought to myself...
But he was way better skills. I mean, the stuff he was on display was great. I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
What I mean by that is I've seen a couple of fights now where he's faded badly in the third because he doesn't seem to be able to control the tempo of his fighting, and he's too hectic, he's too intense, especially from the first bell when you should really ease yourself into the fight, just like with any kind of exercise, right? If I go out for a jog now, I don't open the front door and sprint the first 100 meters. You build up to a steady pace, and then you kind of build up that pace more and more as you sort of warm up and go through. And so for him to come out and fight the way he does, to me, he's just emptying the gas tank immediately. It's such a... I don't know if it's a nerves thing. I don't know if it's a lack of control. I don't know what it is, but he's one of the best gyms in the world. You'd have thought they'd have said to him, you need to get your body clock sorted out so you know where you are in a fight more. So you can...
Or train him so that he can do that for 3 rounds.
What's that?
Or train him up so that he can actually do that for
Yeah.
3 rounds, you know?
Yeah,
You're
or
never
he
going to be able
makes
to do that because you never know what your opponent's going to bring. So
Exactly.
you never really know, I can do this for 3 rounds or 5 rounds. You can't know that. You don't know what's coming back the other way, you know?
Yep.
So I agree. It's a bit weird that Zahabi ain't telling him to calm down. And maybe he does. And like you say, he just doesn't calm down. Who knows? But the skill is there. I really rated that, the way he came out and the stuff he was doing. They were saying on broadcast as well, weren't they? Bit weird that he's fighting, he thinks he can fight at this intensity or whatever, because it weren't really finishing stuff. If he was throwing a load of strikes and a load of hooks around the head, you'd go, oh, he's punching himself out because he's trying to finish the fight. I'm not saying he weren't trying to finish it, but it was mostly wrestling and grappling, right?
Mm.
So it is a little bit weird that when that's not necessarily the finishing fight moves, that you're going to not waste, but use a lot of energy doing that, when all you're really getting out of it is you're winning, but you're getting control. It will lead to submissions and stuff. It's weird because I honestly thought he was good, really good. But
I think Bektic's decent and talented. He's strong. All those things. But he, like I say, he faded badly in the Elkins fight and got knocked out by the damage. I mean, that's almost unforgivable. And he's lost 3 in the spin now. And again, is genuinely, after about the first few minutes of that fight, you could tell he is not going to be able to fight at this intensity, and it's all about what the other fella is going to have left in the tank. And if he's got enough left in the tank, he'll finish him. Because when you're fatigued, everything goes out the window. Your technique, your defense, everything goes out the window. And that's why I thought he'd get submitted. And he did get submitted. Like I say, it's a shame I didn't have webcam on because,
just because, yeah. Like I said, it's a shame for the whole world. I've got a few things to say about this fight, and then I've got a question for you, which, you might have some answers for me. Damon Jackson, he had excellent walkout music. You probably wouldn't have noticed, or you didn't know what it was. It was Even Flow by Pearl Jam. That's amazing, having that. So nice one, Damon, for having that as your walkout music. Easily makes up for the Barnet, that does. So that was a good one. If you notice, they cut the tape off of the ankles of Bektic before the fight. Did you notice that when he was into the prep point, he had some tape around his ankles? So I found out later on, because Anik mentioned it a bit later on in the broadcast. He said, because the thing I thought was weird there was that they cut it off, and I've always said to you, why can't you have some protection on your feet? Now, you can have that protection on your feet, but it's got to be covered up by a sleeve. Like I said, Anik found out from one of the work blokes there later on. Yeah. And he said you can have it on, but you has to be covered up by a sleeve. I think that's a bit crap that Zahabi didn't know that, or have some sleeves in stock maybe. But I want to have a little chat about the lack of protection on the feet. So I've mentioned this to you before. Your hands have protection on it. You know why, right? Well, tell me why. Why'd you put gloves on your hands? Let's not talk about the fact it's going to protect someone's face for a minute, right? Actually, include it all. Let's just give it boxes or whatever. Why are you wrapping your hands and putting gloves on your hands for fighting, for sport fighting?
Protection more. Well, my understanding is protection more for the hands than it was for the opponent's face.
Right. Okay. Well, I think so as well, but I don't know. I'm sure there is arguments to protecting the face as well or whatever. And I'm sure there's arguments against it, right? But it's to protect the tiny little bones in your hands and knuckles, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yet you can't have anything on your feet. Now, I do appreciate that it's as real as it gets, and you can't have foreign objects in the cage, right? So finger rings, stuff like that. I get it. But something on your feet, okay, normal trainers, again, I know why. It's not because of the dirt and the germs they bring in. It's normally because of laces. So in Taekwondo, they won't want you coming into training with laces, normal trainers, even though they wear shoes, right? They wear shoes in Taekwondo and a kick. And the reason they tell you not to do that is because the laces cause you injuries. They whip your arm when you block the kicks and stuff, and they cause unnecessary injuries. So if you notice, Taekwondo shoes, even that have laces, the laces are covered up underneath like a cover, like a tongue, if you like, that's on the outside. Or they have like Quan shoes and there's no laces. So I get it. Why can't you have some protection on your feet? But it offers some protection. Now, although it's not much padding, it offers protection to your toes and stuff, right? Because when your toes are in a shoe, they're together and not like this all the time. So I just don't get why you're not allowed. Why can't they have them wrestling boots on or something like that? They used to allow it. I think it was Pride. You could have wrestling boots on if you wanted, and if you wanted to do stenchers and raw feet, you were allowed to do that as well. I just don't know why you can't have any protection. Now, that protection he was allowed to have.
Can it help prevent some submissions, perhaps?
Maybe. I look, the truth is, I don't know what the reason is. He was allowed to have that strapping on his ankles, and you were allowed to, because later on, Kevin Holland had some knee stuff on as well, right? And that knee stuff that he had on was, they didn't know if there was wrapping under there, but even if there was, it was being fine because he had a sleeve over it. But I've never seen anyone with anything over there. You've seen a couple of toes taped together, things like that. But I think they should design something. And there is stuff out there already where you've got padding over your feet and there's nothing on the sole of the foot, but there's padding across the foot. But if they've designed MMA gloves, if they've designed MMA gloves, right, for grappling with fingers free, why can't they design something on your feet? Because the truth is, I don't think I'd ever throw a kick unless I could see the body was right there. I'd never throw a full power kick on someone, because if that kick hits their elbow, well, that could be the end of the fight. A simple thing like that. But maybe if I had a bit of padding on it, it'd be a little bit different. Who knows? I think it's weird that they protect the hands and not the feet. That's all. But there you go. So Habby should have known. He should have had some sleeves, or should have known.
Known the local, state rules, and he should also have told Bektic not to go out there like a bat out of hell. So, you know what? I won't be training down TriStar in future.
Well, nor did Johnny Walker. He banned it and all.
Well, there you go. But we'll get onto him later.
We will. I've got more things about this fight, though. So, Mergliata was the ref in this one. And if you remember, he stopped the fight for a back-of-the-head punch. And I loved it. I like that. You tell someone, watch the back of the head, and then they throw a strike immediately after that to the back of the head. I mean, you've got to do something about it, right? And just go, listen, I told you. No, I actually warned you before you threw the punch. I said, keep your eyes peeled. Yeah, responsible for your weapons, right? He shouldn't have to warn you. You're responsible for it anyway. You know the rules. Done it out the back already. I tell you just to say, look, keep your eye out here. Back of the head. Bang, back of the head. So I like Mergliata for doing that. Really likes things.
If a fighter, sometimes, in a score or something, you can forgive the odd at the back of the head. Say a fighter's moved out, and when you were aiming or throwing, it was going to say clip them on the side of the head, but they're scrambling and then it clips them on the back of the head. But I know the one you're talking about, it was basically just punched him on the back of the head.
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of the time, you're right, you can't help it, because a lot of the time, the person who's underneath, who's about to get punched in the head, the reason it ends up in the back of the head is because they turn to either to actually offer the back of the head, because they know they can't be punched in the back of the head, the same way they go, I'm about to get kneed in the face, so I'm going to put my hand on the floor or my knee on the floor. So they take advantage of the rules and turn their face to the mat, knowing I now can't get punched in the back of the head. Better to not be facing up, right? Turn the back of the head or whatever. So it's either that or as a defense mechanism, just to, and that's what happens. But this was just a blatant back of the head punch. And I like the fact that he didn't mess about and just went, right, that's it. So, also, I wanted to mention the corner chats by Damon's coach, Saif Saud. He said to him when they got to the corner, he said to him, to his fighter, right? He said, look, I know he's strong, but you're waiting around down there. And Damon said, he's not that strong. So the coach said to him, well, if he ain't that strong, get up. Loved it. Loved the chats. Do think it made a difference. So my question to you is, corner chats. How much was this win to do with the coach's chats in that corner, in Jackson's corner? They've only got 60 seconds, as you know. So a couple of questions, really. I know what you're going to do in the 60 seconds is dependent on what's just happened in the previous round. But roughly, what are you going to do with the 60 seconds? And how much difference do you think it made in that fight, those chats?
I liked his corner chats as well, that guy. They did stand out. But I don't think they make that much difference. It depends on who you're saying them to. It depends who's sitting on the stall. So you could tell that Damon had a good mindset, so to speak, by the fact that when he went back and he got that chat of his corner man, he didn't just go, yeah, but he's strong. I like the fact he had that element of defiance about him, like, no, he ain't that strong.
Yeah, he ain't that strong, yeah.
But, I'll deal with this. And I liked
Good
that.
response back, though, right? He said to him, well, if you ain't that strong, what are you
yeah,
laying on the floor for? Get
Yeah,
up.
and that was a good response. The thing with cornermen is, I think, obviously, it's about getting a little bit of information and it's about getting a little bit of guidance, but you can't reinvent the wheel in the space of a minute. And so...
Yeah, the fighter is at the stage they're at now,
Exactly,
aren't they, I suppose?
you have to work within those parameters. So you can't sort of say to a fighter, oh, listen, he's open to the 2-3-7-8-4 combo, because it's too much information to take in and it's too precise. You need basic elements of just short bits of information, like you're falling a bit short with your jab, creep in a little bit with your footwork, maybe disguise it with some feints and this and that. You need some real basic bits of information, some clear information, and maybe
60
just a little
seconds,
bit, maybe just a little bit of a pep talk, as in, like, you can still win this, those kinds of things, something to sort of motivate and gear him up. And I think that's what that guy did, right? Where he basically said to him, look, you're hanging around too long on the floor. So that's basically drilling into that, Damon. The second your back hits the mat, start working your way back up immediately. The second you feel that canvas on your back. And then when he said, he ain't that strong, then the motivational chats came in, then just get up, let's go and win. So it was
give
good.
The chat, prove it that he ain't that strong. Prove
exactly,
it.
Yeah. And a good corn man obviously knows we discussed the other week that we didn't like somebody because they brought up, their kids. They said, your kids.
Yeah, I can't remember the fight, but that's right.
Yeah, but I think it's harsh of us to judge like that because we don't know the person he's talking to. And the person they're talking to may be the person who is motivated by that kind of chat. So sometimes you get people who are motivated by, if you like, the slaps, the Jason Guidas.
Yeah.
But that might not work for everybody, and someone else might prefer the calmer, more philosophical approach. Somebody might prefer the sort of, screaming in your face. So it's about knowing your fighter. But the main thing is, it's the guy or the girl who sat on the stool in front of you. You can give the best corner advice in the world, but if you're giving it to Borella, it ain't going to mean nothing. You're wasting your time. So I think it's the person sat on the stool is the key ingredient, really.
Yeah, can be interesting.
You said that before because you've had lots of gyms and stuff like that have flown under the radar, not been successful at all, and then they get a real good talented fighter. Let's take SBG as an example. Then all of a sudden, people go, "Isn't Coach Kavanagh, amazing, an amazing coach?" And I actually really like him. His style is probably the one that I like best out of all that I've seen.
Yeah, he trusts the fighter to know what's going down. Yeah,
exactly. He's really nice and calm and concise. I really like him loads. But what I'm saying is before McGregor was there, he was just probably a run-of-the-mill MMA coach in Ireland, right? But he gets the right fighter there, McGregor. Now he's spoken about as a great coach. And I'm not saying he isn't, because I've just said I like him. But I'm saying it's more about the fighters that you have. If Sugar Ray Leonard walked into my boxing gym, that doesn't...
You're now a brilliant coach.
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't automatically make me a great coach.
Oh.
It makes Sugar Ray Leonard a great fighter.
Yeah.
And I just happen to be in the right place at the right time. A great coach will help them achieve their full potential. But the facts are, Sugar Ray Leonard, provided he still had the means to do so, was always going to be a world champion, even if I was training him. So to me, it's more the fighter. It's the guy sat on the stall. The coach can obviously have a big impact, but the key ingredient is the person sat on the stall. That's my opinion anyway.
And that's why I asked, because I value it so highly.
Yeah, I think I rambled on for about 10 minutes though. Didn't need to.
No, listen, that's what I wanted. Now, we should finish this fight, but I'm not going to yet, because I just wanted to mention this Damon Jackson fella.
This fight?
Yeah, because like you say, the corner chats were important, but it was his mental game. You mentioned it when he got back in the corner that he sort of sat up and you could see he hadn't given up yet or whatever.
Yeah.
You think about in that fight, he had Bektic in a Kimura that Bektic got out of, which is amazing that he got out of it. If you remember, he got out of a Kimura there. He also got out of a choke. And don't get me wrong, I really rate Bektic for getting out of that stuff as well. Right? It's equally amazing. But what I really liked about this Damon Jackson was that he just didn't give up. He just carried on and on and on and going, if I keep grabbing this bloke's head or arm or whatever it is, eventually something should give. And it did. So I like him. I think he was good. And I'm happy to move on to the next fight. But I didn't know of him before this. I know of him now. And I liked him because, like you say, a lot of the times the mental attitude and his mental attitude was brilliant, which I did think the coach helped that as well. So.
Yeah, I agree. I was impressed with that. I mean, yeah, he was in the UFC a while back. You will remember him. He was in the UFC, quite a long time ago. He had a run in the UFC before, but yeah.
So now you want to carry on chatting about this fight then?
But, I'm really burnt out with this fight. We've chatted about it longer than the fight actually went on for.
All right,
so
okay. Next one then. The next one is Jordan Espinosa.
By the time we finish chatting about it, Damon Jackson might have gone bald. Right, next, move on. That's how long we've been chatting about it. Yeah. Right, go on.
Jordan Espinosa, 16-7, versus David Undertaker Dvorak, 18-3. So this one, the favourite was Espinosa, but the winner was Dvorak by unanimous decision.
Yep, congratulations, Dvorak. Nice one. Right, see you later. That's the end of that.
No. It ain't. Espinosa's pad man out the back. It shows the Olivi bits first out the back. Do you remember him? He was like a Shaolin monk. He looked absolutely brilliant. Not remember him?
No, I don't remember him. I'm not sure about him.
Well, anyway, he's got a Shaolin monk as a pad man, and that was good. Now, Dvorak was on a 14-fight win streak, yet Espinosa was the favourite. So I'd like to know, who were the 14 opponents, please, that Dvorak was on the 14-fight win streak? Because it's a pretty powerful win streak, that. But if you tell me that it was, well, I don't know. Let's see. You tell me first. I'm not about to, maybe if you told me it was ciphers or something, then I'd go, okay, this is why. So would you mind looking that up for me? While you're looking that up.
What blooming, who's that bloke who helps out Joe Rogan?
Jamie. Yeah. Jamie, look that up. Jamie looked that up, right? But Dvorak basically won that fight on calf kicks, literally one move. So that is definitely getting run the mill.
Well, look, his only previous fight in the UFC, he got a decision win over. Hang on a second. He got a decision win over. Well, he got a decision win over Bruno Silva.
Yeah, I don't have to be UFC. What are the rest?
That was his only previous UFC fight. Bruno Silva is 10-4. So before that, he was fighting outside the UFC.
Yeah,
got a good record. I thought he looked competent enough and decent enough, but it just wasn't a fight that I really got engaged or excited about. His previous fight, his previous opponent was 16-3, so a good winning record.
Just wondering why if he's on a 14-fight win streak, why he weren't the favourite. But whatever.
Might have been because it was only his second UFC fight, but
who cares? Well, it's not who cares. It does matter, but that's why I thought, well, let's check the opponents, and maybe the bookies also looked at that and went, listen, 14 fights don't mean nothing.
Well, his previous opponents, they were 5-5, 9-5. There was obviously the 16-3, and he got 6-2. So it looks like he was fighting people who was more experienced than, and also had a better record than, 13-12 here. So, it is what it is, all that stuff, End of the day, he won, Espinosa lost, the fight was boring. That's the end of that.
Right, okay. Well, there is one more thing. The broadcast was really nasty to Dvorak because, he has a 14-fight win streak. He won the fight and it didn't even allow him any post-fight chats. So that's crap. Don't you think?
It is, yeah, but, that's what happens when you have a 3-round decision. I'm sure they'd have made way for him to have a chat if it was a slugfest 3-rounder, or if he got the stoppage or the submission. There definitely would have been. But you can't always knock out or submit everybody, can you? So I'm not laying blame.
Yeah. Espinosa have chats.
for that fight. And yeah, I would like to have heard what Dvorak's got to say.
Exactly.
And guess what? It was a decent win. I think that guy was ranked top 15 at Espinosa. So
Yeah,
good for
favourite,
Dvorak. It was just a fight that just, the only thing that I was getting bored into submission in that fight. So
yeah, but look,
sorry.
the chats, maybe they shouldn't be that important, but it seems they are, right? It's about what you say. Look at Bobby Green, yeah? He had a couple, basically one performance that people really liked, but what was really getting him a bit of attention was the personality of things he was starting to say, and he weren't even saying anything like McGregor. He wasn't doing those kind of chats or anything. So sometimes I think you do need the chats, and he won and he never got the chats. Just saying it's a bit nasty. Now,
I agree, yeah, and it would have been, it's nice for him as well, right? He's won a fight, a big organisation. It would have been nice for him to have that little moment, if you like, in the limelight.
now I'm pretty sure he got the moment.
I don't cry about it too much because, I had to sit for 15 minutes of that fight.
Okay,
So
but I bet he got the moment.
Interview as well.
All right, but I think he probably did get the moment. I'm just saying the broadcast just did. He weren't on the broadcast. He probably did get the moment, but if no one's watching it, it's not a moment, is it? Look, correct me if I'm wrong. Just is that it? Is that the prelims done?
That's prelims done.
So, right. Then in that case, we'll leave it at the prelims if you agree, and then we'll do a separate show for the main card. Agreed?
Lovely.
All right. Okay. In that case, thanks very much for the chat. I shall.
Thank you.
No, yeah. You're welcome. No, I don't like that one. Yeah, no problem.
All right.
Nice one. And I shall see you in a minute for another chat. Thanks if anybody did listen to this. Yeah, and we'll see you at the next one.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Let
mate.
us know in the comments if you think Lard Legs is a nice nickname or not. Right. See you later.
Right. Yeah, well, okay. See you later. Bye, mate.
Bye-bye.